election authorities have confirmed that right-wing candidate Keiko Fujimori will face off against the left-wing Congress member Roberto Sanchez in the country's presidential runoff. Following a chaotic first round of voting, Peru's National Jury of Election on Sunday confirmed the results of the 17% of the vote, with Fujimori taking first place with 17% of the vote. She was followed by Sanchez with 12%.
Quetta. The Balochistan government on Sunday imposed Section 144 across the province for a month. In a notification available with Dawn, the provincial government imposed a complete ban on gatherings of 5 or more than 5 persons, including sit-ins, processions or rallies throughout the province for 30 days, effective immediately.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has termed Pakistan's emergence as a key mediator between the US and Iran as a shining moment in our history, crediting the political-military partnership for the change in the country's image internationally. The Premier made these remarks during an interview with the Sunday Times as Islamabad remained engaged in efforts for de-escalation between the US and Iran.
Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and President Sergio Mattarella have visited victims of car ramming and stabbing attacks on the main shopping street of the northern city of Modena at about 4:30 p.m. local time, 14:30 GMT on Saturday. A 31-year-old man identified as Salim El Kudri drove at high speed through the city centre, hitting more than a dozen people.
A prosecutor in France has revealed that about 10 new suspected victims have come forward in the European country's probe into the network of late US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Speaking with the RTL broadcaster, Paris public prosecutor Laura Beckwach said on Sunday that about 20 suspected victims had made themselves known after she, in February, urged potential victims to speak up.
Pakistan expressed on Sunday utmost satisfaction over a supplemental award by the Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA, that it said affirmed Islamabad's position of the Indus Waters Treaty, placing substantive limits on India's water control capability on Indus River system's western rivers. The decision pertained to maximum pondage, a technical term for the maximum volume of water that could be stored in a reservoir. In Indus Waters Treaty proceedings arising from design disputes concerning the Ratley hydroelectric plant and the Kishanganga hydroelectric project in occupied Kashmir, a statement issued by the Pakistan government said. Israeli attacks across the Gaza Strip have killed at least 5 Palestinians, including 3 in Deir el-Balah and others in Khan Yunis and Beit Lahia. Sunday's attack on the central city of Deir el-Balah targeted a community kitchen, and all 3 victims were charity workers, according to Al Jazeera's Hind Qadri, reporting from Gaza City.
Commencement season has come around again. And this year, at least a couple speakers have discovered that it's tough to get graduating students excited about a future shaped by artificial intelligence. Last week, Gloria Kuhlfield, an executive at real estate firm Tavistock Development Company, gave a speech at the University of Central Florida, acknowledging that we're living in a time of profound change, which can be both exciting and daunting.
The Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA, in The Hague has reaffirmed that the Indus Waters Treaty, IVWT, remains fully in force and cannot be put on hold or terminated by either Pakistan or India acting alone. In its latest decision, the tribunal upheld its earlier findings on the treaty's validity, stressing that the legal regime governing the Indus River system continues to apply to both countries.
A new US immigration rule taking effect will sharply raise the stakes for signature mistakes on H-1B and green card paperwork, potentially costing applicants thousands of data, the US Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, has formalized new powers to request to reject or deny immigration benefit requesters, and in many cases, keep the filing fees even when an application is refused. The District Administration of Islamabad has enforced fixed entry fees at all cattle markets ahead of Eid al-Adha, setting the rate at 4,000 for large animals and 3,000 for small animals. Officials said strict action is being taken against anyone traders more than the approved amount, while one person has already been arrested for overcharging a livestock seller. One of 4 Canadians who returned home from a cruise ship where there was a hantavirus outbreak received a presumptive positive test result for the virus. Canadian officials said Saturday. Results from the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg to confirm the case are expected to come over the weekend, said Dr. Bonnie Henry, the public health officer for the province of British Columbia.
8 years after hearing their national anthem on football's grandest stage for the first time, Panama will have the chance to relive that surge of national pride at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Having navigated a challenging qualification campaign, they return to the tournament as Central America's highest-ranked side, ready to test themselves against some of the world's best nations.
Taiwan's president says the island will not be pressured into giving up its democracy and sovereignty, days after the self-governing territory was one of the main points of discussion between China and the US. Taiwan will not provoke or escalate conflict, but it will also not relinquish its national sovereignty and dignity, or its democratic and free way of life, under pressure. William Lai Ching-te posted on social media on Sunday. New York City, USA, like clockwork each May, soon-to-be college graduates drift into New York City's Washington Square Park in caps and gowns, typically in purple, the school color of nearby New York University. A sea of mostly 20-somethings gather for photographs that mark the moment when the predictability of collegiate life comes to a close and new graduates face the uncertainty of what's next. Julie Pehel, who just finished a master's degree in public health, was one of those graduates. But a tight job market has dampened the joy of the graduation ceremony.
Welcome back to TechCrunch Mobility, your central hub for news and insights on the future of transportation. To get this in your inbox, sign up here for free. Just click TechCrunch Mobility. There is a bit of a theme emerging in transportation and really every industry. AI is creating jobs for some at the loss of others.
The first day of Zilhajj will be observed on Monday, the 18th of May 2026. The Central Ru'ati Hilal Committee announced a short while ago. This has further confirmed that Eid al-Adha will be observed in Pakistan on Wednesday, 10 Zilhajj 1447 AH, i.e. 27th May 2026. The capital city has launched the Women Enterprise Market in G11. M&A and Parliamentary Secretary Farah Naz Akbar inaugurated the facility in a ceremony that was organised by the Islamabad Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry in partnership with the Capital Development Authority, Metropolitan Corporation Islamabad and JazzCash. The Marketplace initiative responds to stark gender disparities in Pakistan's business sector, where women constitute only 1% of entrepreneurs compared to 21% for men. The facility operates entirely on cashless transactions, designed to integrate female business owners into formal financial systems and enhance their digital literacy.
The Ru'ati Hilal Committee announced on Sunday that the Zilhajj moon had been sighted and Eid al-Adha will be celebrated on May 27. The announcement came after the committee met earlier today in Karachi for the moon sighting, while meetings of zonal committees were also convened in Islamabad, Lahore, Quetta and Peshawar. Islamabad, the Directorate General of Immigration and Passports, DGIP, is set to introduce nationwide home delivery of passports and launch a chatbot to help applicants, Passports DG Muhammad Ali Randhawa told Dawn on Sunday. Applicants will soon have the option to get passports delivered to their doorsteps, he said, adding that discussions with a courier service company were underway for this purpose.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif held a phone call with his Qatari counterpart on Sunday and thanked the leadership of Qatar for its strong endorsement and support of Pakistan-led peace efforts. According to a statement shared by PM's spokesperson for foreign media, Mosharraf Zaidi on X, the Premier had a warm and cordial conversation with Qatar's Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani, and the two leaders exchanged views on the evolving regional and international situation.
The son of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has secured a seat on Fatah's highest leadership body as initial results emerged from the movement's first Congress in the occupied West Bank in a decade. The three-day 8th General Conference in Ramallah, which began on Thursday and finished on Sunday, came as Fatah faces existential challenges following Israel's genocidal war on Gaza.
A drone strike has sparked a fire on the perimeter of the Baraka nuclear energy plant in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, raising new concerns over a potential new regional escalation amid a fragile ceasefire between Iran and the United States. Authorities in Abu Dhabi said the blaze broke out at an electrical generator in the Al Dhafra region on Sunday. No injuries were a perimeter in the Al Dhafra region on Sunday, and officials said radiation levels remained normal.
VR46 Racing's Fabio Di Gianantonio has claimed victory at the Catalan Grand Prix in extraordinary circumstances, taking the checkered flag after a race that was red flagged twice due to multiple crashes. The Italian secured only his second MotoGP victory and VR46 Racing's first since the Indian Grand Prix in 2023. But Sunday's triumph was overshadowed by serious incidents that sent Alex Marquez and Johann Zarco to hospital.
The southern state of Georgia is set to hold its primary vote on Tuesday, drawing battle lines for November's consequential midterm elections in the United States. Among the most closely watched races will be the Republican contest to choose a challenger for Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff, whose 2020 victory came amid a liberal surge in a state long dominated by conservatives.
When Lior Susan started Eclipse Ventures in 2015, the firm's thesis of digitizing the physical world wasn't particularly popular in Silicon Valley. It was the era of enterprise software and SaaS, and it felt fairly lonely the first couple of years, Susan said on stage at a recent Strictly VC event in San Francisco.
A meeting of the Ru'at-e-Hilal Committee is currently underway to cite the Zilhaj moon, based on which the dates for Eid al-Azha are to be determined. The meeting of the Central Ru'at-e-Hilal Committee is being held in Karachi, while other zonal committees are holding meetings in other cities. The outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo is concerning. It has been spreading for weeks undetected in a part of the world where civil war makes getting on top of the virus difficult. And the species of Ebola involved is rare, so there are fewer tools to stop a virus that kills between a third and half of people infected.
The killing of Izz al-Din al-Haddad, the recently appointed head of Qassam Brigades, the armed wing of Hamas, has dealt a symbolic blow to the Palestinian group in Gaza, but the impact on its military operations is far from certain. Al-Haddad was killed on Friday in a sophisticated dual strike on a residential apartment in Gaza City's Remal neighbourhood and a vehicle attempting to flee the scene. The delivery of heavy munitions into a densely populated area, packed with displaced civilians, killed 7 other Palestinians, including women and children, and wounded 50 people. A complete ban has been imposed on the entry of vehicles carrying animals onto motorways. According to a Central Region spokesperson, the decision has been taken to ensure public safety and maintain smooth traffic flow during Eid al-Adha. Officials noted that overloaded and unfit vehicles have previously contributed to serious road accidents.